Jeremy S. Cook here, and if you've been following along for a while, you know that I recently got a MonoPrice Maker Ultimate 2. I'm really thrilled with this device so far, and it's been just a great tool. It's got a 200 by 150 by 150 millimeter print area, and yeah, I've gotten it to work with OctoPrint. Got it updated to a version of Cura for G-code generation, and even fixed a little problem at the end that I thought was pretty interesting. So I haven't gotten to the TPU test or the cooling test slash overhangs. Hopefully I get to that soon, but just wanted to put that out there before you watch the whole video expecting it. I will go over some of my settings though at the end, so hopefully this will be instructive if you've got a machine like this. The video will be a little bit less polished than most of my videos, so I just want to make sure to get my thoughts out on this before I kind of forgot about them. When I was offered this printer, my one hesitation was whether or not it would work with OctoPrint. I'm happy to note that it does work with OctoPrint, and I'm running the 1.6 version firmware that came with it. Somebody else on Twitter notified me that they were running the 2.01 version firmware after updating it, and they were having some real problems. So I just keep that in mind if that's important to you. You can see there after I turn it on with the PSU control, I just click connect and it connects at 115/200 baud. At this point it's very consistent, but I did have some problems along the way. I'll show off some of my settings here. There's not really anything that interesting in the general section, nor in the intervals and timeouts, but I thought I'd just show that just for completeness, see what I've got up there. So there are some interesting bits in the firmware and protocol section. For one thing, I'd send a checksum never. I was sending that before and had some issues toward the end. And then as far as send and OK for resend requests, I had that as detected. That's pretty much it there. Now, if you don't send that checksum, if you do send that checksum, I was having a problem where when it got to the, well, you can see right there, 80% of the print, it would just send the checksums over and over, and it would have some problems. This didn't happen all the time, but now that I changed that out, it's not a problem. Now, if you want to see what version of firmware you are running, here's how you do it. You can see I'm running 1.6, which runs pretty well for me. The other thing that I felt like I needed to change when I got this machine was that it actually comes with a piece of software called Builder, which I'd never really heard of that before, and nobody I'd talked to had either. It runs okay. It's kind of a basic slicing program. That's a drill fixture that I made for a different project that I'll probably put up at some point, but there's not a whole lot of control over it that I could find. Really wanted to use Cura with this, and so I did. Generated some G-code on that, but after doing that, I found that the printer misbehaved quite a bit. Gave me some sort of position error over and over. I'm still getting that like once at the beginning with OctoPrint or OctoLapse, but I just close it out and it's fine. Yeah, you can see that. That's a real problem, obviously. And I don't think it really worked correctly either, even with that annoyance. So the problem here is that if you manage the profiles, go into this, then you have to set up the, well, X and Y and Z, of course. That was fine. But the start G code was not fine. This was just this start G code that comes with Cura. I think it may be for Marlin, I'm not really sure, but kind of getting into that, comparing that with what it generates versus what Builder generates, there's just a section that I'll highlight that in just a second that is necessary in order to get your printer into the right state. I'm actually just making a little note there where the start code ends. I opened this in a text editor called Atom, not WordPad. I don't know if that's critical or not, but sometimes WordPad will give you some problems because it maybe doesn't pick up the right characters, I think. I'm not really sure, but it's a good safe bet to use Atom or some other advanced text editor like that. With that commented and made sure that I had everything in there, cut and pasted the start G code, and I'm happy to report that after that it worked quite well. Thought there'd be some more problems. And there it is, printing out the part with G code generated with Cura. This there's actually a problem with this particular print. You can see I got a communications error, which I thought at first, I was like, well, maybe there's some deal with the checksum that wasn't fixed somehow or other. And the problem is I restarted it, turned it off using PSU control, did all kinds of stuff through OctoPrint. Tried to connect again and see just error connecting to the printer. Now I thought about this and thought about this, and eventually I got to the problem, which was pretty easy, but I'll give you a second to think about that. Think what the problem could have been. Nope, so restarting it did not help. And in fact, what had happened was the printer, it vibrated so much that it actually pulled the USB-B USB-B plug that I had plugged into it, connecting to the Raspberry Pi. It pulled that out. And, that seems like maybe a freak occurrence, but it seems to me with as fast as this printer can go that it would probably happen again and again. So I designed a magnetic holder for the USB-B port. Now I had my doubts about this, is like maybe the magnetic field would interfere with electronics, but that hasn't happened so far, and I've yet to have it pull out. So on the one side you've got a slot for a zip tie, and the other side you can put 2 neodymium magnets. There's a print from it, or picture from it, from you might recognize from the last video, and there it is, ready to be strapped down. Probably has some other uses. I'll put the STL files, a link to that in the description, as well as, maybe I'll sell them even. But if you got a 3D printer, you don't need to buy one, obviously. So I don't know what you'd use it for, but probably some other uses too. So that worked out pretty well. And then as promised, here's my settings for the fine setting and also the draft setting, the draft JC and draft and fine JC. I don't know. It's probably, there's probably some better settings out there that you could use, but these seem to work okay for me. So I'd love your suggestions. You definitely leave them in the comments if you got better settings, or you think I need to change something here. Any other comments about connecting via OctoPrint or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. But yeah, I've been quite happy with it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and or if you have one, hopefully you've been enjoying it, and hopefully this gave you a little bit more insight into either whether you should get this printer, or if you already have the printer, maybe a few tips on how to get it working. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to check out some of my other stuff, and if you like those, then feel free to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. This is Jeremy S. Cook, signing off.